What is up, my thrifty friends? Tabs here from the Urban Goddess Shop. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video, we are doing a part 2 to a video I did a couple weeks ago where I answered reseller questions. So these are hacks and tips and personal advice through experience of running my business for 3 years. If you are new to my channel, I am a Canadian reseller. I'm a mom to 2 girls, a wife. I work part-time in a hospital pharmacy, and I like to sell used clothing. It is my jam here on YouTube, and I share everything about my business, hopefully helping you grow a side hustle reselling clothing as well. All right, we are jumping into the video. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 questions we're going to address. Very good questions. I put a lot of thought into these, did a little bit of research on a few of them, and obviously any input you have on these topics, please share with us, because some of these topics I actually don't know everything about, and I kind of have like my opinion or my view. If you have any other information or insight, please share with us. We grow together as a community when we share with each other. All right, first question was from My Pickaloo, and she asked, can a buyer open a case after accepting the item? And this was a really good one. I actually had to look this up. I did not know the answer. I felt like the answer was no, but I was like, can they? I don't know. So straight from Poshmark, I found when you make a purchase on Poshmark, we don't release payment to the seller until the buyer tells us that they've received the order as described. You have 3 days after delivery to inform us if the item has been misrepresented by reporting the problem on the Poshmark app or website with supporting photos. If we verify the claim is true, we'll send a return label, and you have 5 days to ship for it to be eligible for a refund. Oh, this was the big thing. Once the payment has been released, all sales are final. No refunds will be provided. So the answer is technically no, according to their policies. That would be like once you accept the item, the funds are released pretty much instantly. The answer would be no. But I want to say that if a buyer contacted Poshmark after accepting with like a flaw or something that they found, I think Posh would probably do like a credit or something. I cannot confirm this. I don't know if I don't think I've ever had a case after someone accepted it. I don't know. I feel like they have their policies and then what they actually do, and they don't always line up. So if you have any experience with this, say you had an item that was accepted and then a case happened after, can you drop it down below and let us know? And then maybe just give us some parameters of the case so that we know what happened and why and how. But yeah, I don't think so. That's what I'm gonna say. I don't think they can. Janet asked, does pinning to Pinterest significantly drive business to Poshmark, specifically your closet? The reason why Janet is asking this is because there's an option that you can share your items when you list them to Pinterest. And I thought this was a really good question because I've actually shared stuff to Pinterest and I have that kind of stuff set up. So yes, I would. Part of me wants to say, no, it doesn't specifically drive people to your Poshmark closet, but every time I'm looking for a stock photo or a particular comp, or somehow like I get taken through a photo that I find, it's usually to a sold on Pinterest. It's usually a listing on Pinterest that is marked sold. I'm not sure if people on Pinterest are finding your items, but Pinterest is considered one of the top visual search engines. So that's just something I found on Google. And I think there's a science as to why Poshmark recommends that we pin them to Pinterest. Fun fact, I actually pin the thumbnails and my YouTube videos to Pinterest. I have a little board where I put them all on because I had read somewhere when I first started YouTube that was a way to increase searchability, especially through thumbnails, because Pinterest has such a strong search engine built in. Like there's a lot of things that you can Google or look up online, and it's going to take you to a pin on a Pinterest board, especially in fashion. So like I said, I do think that there's a reason I don't know the whole scientific reason why, but it does make sense to me. Now, if anyone watching is a Pinterest guru or has any information on it, please chime in and let us know, because this is something that I do not know everything about and I don't have a definitive answer. I want to say I feel like it has a positive impact. I just don't know if it works out to increase sales, right? I don't know. I do it. So like I've said before in many videos, if Poshmark is recommending doing something because they think it will lead to more sales, or it's just like something they're recommending, I usually do it. They tend to have not everything, but a lot of things. They're looking at data analytics and they have people that are looking into this stuff. So turn it on. That's my advice. Turn it on. Next question, number 3, CS asked if I could elaborate on if and when I send offers to likers and for how much. This is an awesome question because it is the elusive offers to likers. I think this breaks down to personal preference, to be honest. Like, it's really what you want to do, what you're comfortable with. I change this as often as I change my underwear. No joke, guys. I play with the amount of time and the percentage of my offers daily, like all the time. I'm playing with them. If I'm having a low sales day, I'm going to increase my offers to 30%. If sales are like going really good that week, I'm going to drop it down to 20%. I mean, I'm always sending like bundle offers and using my shoppers feature, but the first offer I send people, it depends where my sales are for the week. And I think this goes into your preference as well. I also play with the amount of time. Currently, I think I have it set to 30 minutes. I will do it from 15 minutes to 2 to 3 hours. When I say set it, it's because I use automation. I actually don't do my offers myself. My automation is what I'm using. So I will set my automation usually daily, depending on where my sales are in the week. I do offer various discounts. I would say do what works for you, play around with different times, play around with different offers, and find out what works. Also, if you're doing the same thing and it's not working, change it up. Try something different. Try a quick offer, try a higher discount. There's just so many different ways you can play with these offers to likes. And then I think as well, for the discount, that depends on how you price your items. If you're pricing your items on the lower end of comps, if you send out a 10 to 20% offer, people are probably going to be quite happy with it because you're already priced on the low end. For me, I'm priced on the high end and I accept reasonable offers. That's just my business model. My minimum offer that I am sending out is always going to be 20%. That is like my bare minimum percentage. And I do send out offers anywhere between 20 and 40, but I would say typically 20, 25, 30. That's what I would do. And that will be dependent on, again, where are my sales for the week or for the month? Has it been a slow month? I'm going to be aggressive on my offers because I want to turn some inventory so that I can find better inventory. Sometimes the inventory I have sourced just isn't turning quickly, which means it has a lower sell-through rate. And maybe I was just a little bit off on what I thought people were going to be looking for. So I want to move that inventory and I want to keep, trying different things till I find what people are looking for. I am priced to offer a discount up to 40% and still make a profit. Not necessarily the profit I want to make, but I am making a profit. I think try different things, see what works for you, but pay attention to your profit margin. So make sure you know what your cost of goods are on that item, what your fees are going to be on it, and then are you making enough money to meet your business model? So it's kind of a loaded question. I feel like I want to say what I do, but what I do works for my business and my business model, and I don't know what yours is. So try different things, see what works for you and your price range, your price point, your cost of goods. And that's kind of that's it. I wish I had like a definitive answer. I wish I could say, yes, do this, but I think it's very gray. It's a very gray area. Next question, Tony Q asked about measurements. That was it. Measurements. And I'm going to say 100% yes, you should be doing measurements. I receive 2 to 5 questions a week, but rarely a measurement question because I put them into my listing. It literally takes 10 seconds to do. I have a keyboard shortcut set up in my phone. So basically I just type in an acronym and it'll pop up my little blurb, whether if I'm doing tops, it's like pit to pit length. I think I have double check your measurements and let me know if you have any questions basically. And then my bottoms is waist flat, front rise, and inseam. So I do those 3 measurements on pants, and those are the only 2 keyboard shortcuts that I use. I also, if you're a MagiScriptor user like I am, I've also saved both of my keyboard shortcuts into the signature. So you can put in a signature and then save it. So now when I create, so I put my title into MagiScriptor, let it do its magic, it creates the body. I usually do a little skim through, see if I have to change anything, and then I will select the save and it'll show my tops and bottoms, select the appropriate one, and then copy all. And that will take everything I need, paste it into Poshmark, and then it'll always have what I want for measurements. And then the only thing I really have to add after that are my numbers, like whatever I measure on the item. But it does not take long, and I think it increases shoppers' trust or buyers' trust with you. They may have something similar and they can measure and decide if they want to go with it. I think measurements, if you don't do them, is probably the bane of your existence. It's probably the most asked question you have. So put those measurements in and it eliminates all those questions. And if someone asks me a question that's already in my listing, sometimes I will reply and say, hey, that's in my listing, but a lot of times I just mark it as spam and don't reply because I'm like, you're not even reading the listing. You're like just looking at pictures and randomly asking questions. That's just what I do. Doesn't mean you have to do that. We could all do different things, but I don't waste my time on dumb questions. So yeah, I do think you should do measurements. They're very easy, and I think you're cutting yourself short if you don't. And then the other thing I've heard people say is like on their really cheap items, so their $15 or $20 items, they don't put measurements because they're not making a lot of profit. They're turning more volumes. Then that would be a different business model than me. So I don't do that. I could see if someone was doing more volume, them not including measurements, but I don't know. It just takes like no time at all. And if you have keyboard shortcuts, it doesn't take any longer to type it up. Like it's 2 seconds. So yeah, for me, I would say no matter what, put measurements. And then the last question we're going to answer, and I don't have a username because I screenshot a couple of the questions without the username, and I apologize for not shouting you out. The question was, what do I do with dead inventory and when to donate it? Always, I will first bring it to like Play-Doh, Style Encore. Those are the only 2 buy-sell trade stores that I have locally. But whatever you have locally that does cash payout, not necessarily a consignment, because if you take it to consignment, they don't do like a cash payout. A lot of times they're going to hold on to it, they're going to sell it, and when they sell it, they pay you out. I like the ones where you just get cash up front for them, and make sure it's also within season. Those stores tend to be very seasonal, where they're like only looking for certain things, and you have a higher chance of them buying the items if you're selling it within season. So basically, don't go there in like June with all your sweaters, because the chance of them buying them is much lower because they will have to store them. So just keep that in mind. You'll get best dollar and higher buyouts when you are taking what they were actually looking for in that season. And then usually whatever they don't take at that point, I will personally donate. Although I've heard other resellers say they'll just kind of clump it together and they'll put a listing onto Facebook Marketplace, just saying, hey, I have a group of clothing, various sizes, take some pictures, and they'll sell it for like $20 or $15, right? But you're getting something rather than donating. For me, I like to have my IKEA bag with all my donation stuff and take a couple items in every time and get a coupon. That's the way I do it. I would say probably 12 to 18 months would be my time frame. I do probably have like 100 listings in the bottom of my closet that are older pieces that I need to just pull, like items that I thought maybe were like granny core, cottage core, that kind of stuff, or like low brand things. I don't even know where I got some of them. I can't even remember. So I should probably just pull those and take them in, but they're there. If someone tosses them in a bundle with a couple other items and they're like, oh, well, you know, that's cute, I will literally sell it to them for $5 in the bundle. So it's tough. Yeah. I feel like I'm giving advice, but I don't take it because I have items in my closet right now that are older than a year for sure. That's what I think is the best option. First option, take it to a buy sell trade, get some cash for it, then decide what you want to do, whether it's donate, Facebook Marketplace, that would be up to you. All right, guys, those are the questions that I'm answering today. I love these. These are so awesome. These questions are so much fun because they're like, they allow me to kind of give what's working in my business, but also give you guys a couple options if you're wondering. So if you have any other questions you want me to address in another video, drop them down below. If you have any insight into any of these topics, drop it down below. Like, you guys know the deal. Just drop it down below. The magic happens in the comments. All right. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. If this brings you value in your reselling business, make sure to give me a thumbs up and tap subscribe on the way out. I am wishing you guys all many sales, and I'll see you next time. Bye.